Hi, welcome to this Corbettmaths video. In this video, we're going to look at the video solutions to Corbettmaths practice questions on the money topic of paying or buying things. If you need any extra help on this topic, if you go to corbettmaths.com/contents and scroll down to video number 400C, there's a video tutorial there on the questions that are based on money and buying things. But alternatively, if you want some help on the practice questions in this video, I'm going to go through the video solutions to those practice questions. So let's get started. Okay, so let's have a look at our first question. Now, this question is a non-calculator question, and it says Nisha bought 4 cookies and she paid with a £10 note and she received £4 change. And the question says work out how much each cookie costs. So in terms of this question, well, it's a non-calculator question to begin with, and let's have a look at it. Nisha bought 4 cookies and she paid with a £10 note and received £4 change. So let's work out how much the cookies cost in total. Well, if she paid with a £10 note and she received £4 change, if we do £10, take away £4, that's equal to £6. So that must mean the cookies cost £6. Now there was 4 cookies, so if we divide that £6, how much the cookies cost, by how many cookies she bought, that'll tell us the cost of each cookie. So if we take the £6 and we divide that by 4, that'll tell us the cost of each cookie. Now in terms of then this division, 6 divided by 4, in terms of dividing by 4, you could half it and half it again. So half of 6 is 3, and half of that is 1.5. So that would be £1.50. So that means that each cookie costs £1.50. So that means that each cookie costs £1.50, and that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 2. So question number 2, we've got this menu and we've got tea costs £2.80, a coffee costs £3.35, a biscuit costs 90p and a scone costs £3.10p. And the question says Vicky buys 2 cups of tea and a scone. How much will she have to pay? Now in terms of this question, there's a couple of approaches we could use. We could take the cost of a cup of tea, which is £2.80. We could double it because she buys 2 cups of tea, which would be £5.60. And then we could add on the price of a scone and work out the cost that way. Alternatively, we could just do one column addition. So we could take the price of a cup of tea, which is £2.80, another cup of tea, which is another £2.80, and then a scone, which is £3.10p. So we've got the prices of the tea and the scone. Now we want to find the total cost, so let's add them up and see what we get. Okay, so 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus another 1 is 17, so let's put our 7 down and carry our 1. And 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8. So that means it would be £8.70. So the cost of 2 cups of tea and a scone would be £8.70, and that's how much Vicky would have to pay. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 3. So question number 3 says, Andrew buys these items at a coffee shop. So he buys a latte, which costs £3.75, a wafer, which costs 90p, a scone that costs £2.79, and an apple that costs 80p. And Andrew pays with a £20 note and receives £10.76 change. And the question says, did he receive the correct amount of change? And we've been asked to show our working. That's a calculator question, so we can use a calculator to do this question, but we must show our working. So we're going to take the £3.75, the 90p, the £2.79 and the 80p, and we're going to add them up and see what we get. That's a calculator question, so we can add those up and see what we get. And that's equal to £8.24. So that's the total cost of the items that Andrew bought in the shop. Now he paid with a £20 note and he received £10.76 change. So let's take the £20 and take away the cost of the items, which is £8.24, and see how much change should he receive. So £20 take away £8.24 is equal to £11.76. But he only received £10.76, so he didn't receive enough change. He's actually £1 short. He should have received £11.76. So let's write that down. And that's it. I've just written down, no, he's £1 short. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 4. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 4. So question number 4 says, Anthony buys 14 candles at £5.45 each, and he pays with 8 £10 notes. And the question says, how much change should Anthony receive? Okay, so let's work out the total cost of the candles. Each candle costs £5.45. And he buys 14 of them, so let's multiply by 14, and it's a calculator question. So if we take £5.45 and we multiply that by 14, we get that's equal to £76.30. So that's the total cost of the candles. Now he pays with 8 £10 notes, so 8 multiplied by £10 is equal to £80. So he pays with £80 and they cost £76.30. So to work out the change, we'll take the £80 and subtract £76.30, and that's equal to, and you can do it in your calculator if you want to, that's equal to £3.70. So how much change did Anthony receive? The answer is £3.70. And that's it. So what we done in this question was we worked out the total price of the candles by doing £5.45 multiplied by 14. We found that total price, which is £76.30. We then found out how much money he paid, which is 8 £10 notes, which is £80. And then we subtracted to find out the change, which is £3.70. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 5. So question number 5 is a non-calculator question, so I'm just putting down my calculator. And we're told that Jim buys these items in a shop. So he buys a litre of milk for £1.25, a banana for 35p, and 2 packets of ham. And we're actually told the price of the packets of ham. And he pays with a £10 note and receives £3.20 change. And the question says, work out the cost of 1 packet of ham. Now again, it's a non-calculator question, so I've put down the calculator, and we want to work out the price of a packet of ham. Now we know he pays with a £10 note and he gets £3.20 change, so let's work out how much money the items cost in total. So if we take the £10, so £10 or 10.00, like so, £10, and we subtract £3.20, let's see what we get. So let's just put a decimal point there, 0 take away 0 is 0, 0 take away 2, well we're going to need to borrow, so we're going to have to borrow from here, so that's a 0, and that's a 10, and borrow again, so that's not a 9, and that's a 10. 10 take away 2 is 8, and 9 take away 3 is equal to 6, and that's equal to £6.80. So that's the total cost of the items. Now he bought a litre of milk for £1.25 and a banana for 35p. So let's add those two together to work out the cost of the milk and the banana. And then if we take it away from the £6.80, that'll be the cost of the ham. So let's do that. So let's take our £1.25 and add our 35p and see what we get. So 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. So let's put a 0 down and carry a 1. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, plus 1 is equal to 6, and then 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. So that's £1.60. So the milk and the banana cost £1.60. The total cost of the items is £6.80. So if we now take the £6.80 and subtract the £1.60, that'll tell us the price of the 2 packets of ham. So 0 take away 0 is equal to 0, 8 take away 6 is equal to 2, and 6 take away 1 is equal to 5. So the price of 2 packets of ham is £5.20. Now we want to find the cost of 1 packet of ham, so let's divide this by 2 and find the price of 1 packet of ham. So let's take the £5.20 and divide by 2 and find the price of 1 packet of ham. So how many 2's go into 5? That's going to be 2, remainder 1. How many 2's go into 12? That's 6. And how many 2's go into 0? That's 0. So that's £2.60. So each packet of ham costs £2.60, and that's it. So £2.60. So the cost of 1 packet of ham is £2.60. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 6, and it's a calculator question. That's quite nice. We've got Jenny buys a bicycle helmet for £28, 2 bicycle locks costing £6.50 each, and a bicycle light for £10.50. And she pays with 3 £20 notes. That's going to be £60. And she says that she should receive £15 change. Is Jenny correct? Okay, so let's work this out. Let's work out the cost of the items to begin with. So she buys the bicycle helmet for £28. She buys 2 bicycle locks for £6.50 each. So let's take the £6.50 and multiply that by 2. And if you do £6.50 multiplied by 2, that's equal to £13. So the price of the 2 bicycle locks altogether is £13, and the bike light is £10.50. So let's work out the cost of the items. That's going to be the £28 for the bicycle helmet, the £13 for the 2 bicycle locks, and the £10.50 for the light. And then if we add those up, we can then find out how much that should cost, and that's equal to £51.50. Now we're then told that Jenny pays with 3 £20 notes. Well, 3 multiplied by 20 is equal to 60. So that means she paid with £60. So to work out how much change she should get, we just take the amount she paid, which is £60, and then subtract how much the items cost, which is £51.50, and that's equal to £8.50. So how much change should Jenny receive? £8.50. Now she thinks she's going to receive £15 change. Well, no, she's going to receive £8.50 change. She's actually only considered 1 bike lock and not 2 of them. Okay, so the question says, is Jenny correct? No. And that's it. The answer is no. She should receive £8.50 change, not £15. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 7. Okay, so question number 7, it's a non-calculator question, so I've put down my calculator, and it says that Fozia buys 9 pens and 5 rulers for £7.85, and each pen costs 40p. We've been asked to work out the cost of each ruler. Okay, so because we know the total price of the items, let's work out the total price of the pens. Each pen costs 40p, and Fozia buys 9 of them. So if we take the 40p, the cost of 1 pen, and we multiply that by 9, well, 4 times 9 is 36, so 40 times 9 is equal to 360, or £3.60. And now we know the total cost of the items is £7.85. So if we take the £7.85 and subtract the £3.60, the price of the pens, we can find the total price of the rulers, the total price of the 5 rulers. So let's do that. So 5 take away 0 is 5, 8 take away 6 is 2, and 7 take away 3 is 4. So the total price of the rulers is £4.25. Now she actually bought 5 rulers, so this is the price of 5 rulers. So if we take the £4.25 and we divide that by 5, so £4.25 divided by 5, we can find the price of 1 ruler. So how many 5's go into 4? 0 remainder 4. How many 5's go into 42? That's going to be 8 remainder 2. And how many 5's go into 25? That's 5. So the price of each ruler is 85p, and that's it, 85p. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 8. So question number 8 says, Samira hires a digger and there's a £120 charge for delivery and the collection of the digger. So that £120 charge covers the delivery of the digger to Samira and the collection of the digger from her. And then she pays £70 for each day the digger is hired. And the total cost of hiring the digger is £680. And the question says, how many days did Samira hire the digger for? So to start off with, let's take away the set fee, that £120. So let's take 680 and subtract 120, and that's equal to £560. So we've taken the total cost of hiring the digger, and we've taken away the set fee, and we're left with £560. Now remember, she pays £70 for each day the digger is hired. So if we divide this by 70, that'll tell us how many days she hired the digger for. So 560 divided by 70. Well, 56 divided by 7 is equal to 8, so 560 divided by 70 is equal to 8 as well, so that's 8 days, and that's it. Another way to consider that is you can consider your 70 times table, so 70, 140, 210, 280, 350, 420, 490, and 560. And as you can see, that means that Samira hired the digger for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. And that's it. So how many days did she hire the digger for? The answer is 8. Okay, so let's have a look at our next question, question number 9. So question number 9 says, Jasmine and Scarlett buy some bath bombs from a shop, and all the bath bombs cost the same price. Altogether, Jasmine and Scarlett spend £76 on some bath bombs. Scarlett pays £23.75 for 5 bath bombs, and the question says, how many bath bombs has Jasmine bought? Okay, so in terms of this question, we know that they pay £76 altogether. Now, if we take away the amount of money that Scarlett paid, that'll be how much money Jasmine paid. So let's take the £76 and subtract £23.75, and let's see what we get. And that's equal to £52.25. So that's how much money Jasmine spent on her bath bombs, because obviously Scarlett spent £23.75. When we take that away from £76, that'll be how much money Jasmine spent on her bath bombs. Now, in terms of the question, we're being asked how many bath bombs did Jasmine buy? Now, we know that it costs Scarlett £23.75 for 5 bath bombs, and we're told that all the bath bombs are the same price. So if we take the £23.75 and we divide that by 5, we can find the price of 1 bath bomb, and that's equal to £4.75. So they cost £4.75 each. So we now know how much money Jasmine spent on the bath bombs, £52.25, and we've got the price of each bath bomb, which is £4.75. So if we take the £52.25 and divide that by £4.75, that'll tell us how many bath bombs Jasmine bought. So £52.25 divided by £4.75 is equal to 11. So that means she bought 11 bath bombs. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 10. So question number 10 says, the prices for entry to a pet farm are shown below. So we've got that each adult entry is £12 and each child entry to the pet farm is £7. And a group of people pay £64 exactly to enter the pet farm. And the question says, how many of each ticket were bought? Okay, so what I'm going to do in this question is I'm going to start off with adults. I'm going to say if there's no adults, how much would the children have to pay? If there's 1 adult, how much would the children have to pay? If there's 2 adults, 3 adults, and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write adults here, and I'm going to write children, and then I'm going to write possible. So if there were no adults altogether, well, there's no adults, so the price of the adult tickets would be £0. Now, because of £64 altogether, well, that means that the children amount would have to be £64. Now, because 0 plus 64 is equal to 64. But 64 is not in the 7 times table. 7 times 9 would be 63, but 64 is not in the 7 times table, so that's not possible. We can't make £64 just using £7 child tickets. Okay, if there was 1 adult, well, if there was 1 adult, the price for the adults would be £12. In terms of then for the children, because it's £64 altogether, 64 take away 12 is equal to 52, so that'd be 52 for the children, because that'll be 64. Is 52 in the 7 times tables? Well, no. 7 times 7 is equal to 49, and 7 times 8 is equal to 56, so that's not possible either. Okay, next, if there were 2 adults, well, 2 adult tickets would be £24. The total price is £64, so 64 take away 24 would be £40 for the children. Again, that's not in the 7 times table. 7 times 5 is 35, and 7 times 6 is 42, but 40 is not in the 7 times table, so that's not possible either. Okay, another adult ticket, well, 3 adults would be £36. And then if we do 64, take away 36, that's equal to 28. Now actually 28 is in the 7 times tables because 4 times 7 is equal to 28. So this would be 3 adult tickets and 4 child tickets. So that is possible. Let's just carry on and make sure there's no other options. Okay, next, well, if there's 4 adults, 4 times 12 is equal to 48, and then total cost is £64, 64 take away 48 is equal to 16, and 16, well, 7, 14, 21, that's not in the 7 times tables. Another adult ticket, well, that'll be 5 times 12 is £60, that'll leave £4 for the children, that's not possible either, so there's only one possible option, that's 3 adult tickets, 3 times 12 is 36, and 4 child tickets, because 4 times 7 is 28, so that is 3 adults, and 4 child tickets, and that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 11. So question number 11, we've got this table, and this is the table of prices of cinema tickets. So a standard cinema ticket is £8.49, but a premium one is £10.25, and a group of 7 friends want to watch a movie. And the question says, how much cheaper will it be for the group to buy standard seats rather than premium seats? So in other words, if they buy 7 of these, how much cheaper will that be than 7 of those? So let's multiply both of these by 7. So let's multiply by 7, and let's multiply by 7 and see how much it would be for 7 of these tickets, and let's work out how much it would be for 7 of the premium tickets. So 7 times £8.49, well, £8.49 multiplied by 7 is equal to £59 and 43 pence. And then in terms of the premium ones, £10.25 multiplied by 7 is equal to £71 and 75p. So we've now found the total price of 7 premium tickets and the total price for 7 standard tickets. And the question is, how much cheaper would it be? So we just need to take those away. So £71 and 75 pence subtract £59 and 43 pence is equal to, and that's equal to £12.32. So the question says, how much cheaper would it be for the group to buy standard tickets than premium tickets? The answer is £12.32, and that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 12. So question number 12 said, Tim sold cupcakes, flapjacks and donuts to raise money for charity. And he sold 87 cupcakes at 80 pence each, 62 flapjacks at £1.50 each, and 44 donuts. And in total, Tim raised £211 for charity. And the question says, work out how much Tim sold each donut for. Because obviously we know that he sold 44 donuts, but we don't know the price. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out how much money he raised in total by selling the 87 cupcakes to begin with. So I'm going to do 87 multiplied by 80 pence. And it's a calculator question, so I can do that on my calculator and see what I get. So 87 multiplied by 80p is equal to £69 and 60 pence. So that's the total amount of money that Tim would have raised by selling the 87 cupcakes at 80p each. Now in terms of the flapjacks, he sold 62 of those, so 62 multiplied by £1.50. And if we do 62 multiplied by £1.50, that's equal to £93. So he had raised £93 selling the flapjacks. And he bought 44 donuts. Now, in total, he raised £211 for charity. So if we add these two amounts together, the amount of money that he made by selling the cupcakes and the flapjacks, so let's add those together. Let's see what we get. That's equal to £162, so £162 and 60 pence. So that's how much money Tim raised by selling the cupcakes and the flapjacks. Now he raised £211 altogether. So if we now take this away from 211, what's left will be how much money he raised by selling the donuts. So 211 subtract £162 and 60 pence is equal to £48 and 40 pence. So that's how much money Tim made by selling the donuts. Now the question says, work out how much Tim sold each donut for. Now this is how much money he raised by selling 44 donuts. So if we divide this by 44, if we take the £48 and 40 pence and we divide that by 44, that'll tell us the amount of money that he sold each donut for. So if we divide by 44, that's equal to 1.1 or £1.10p, so £1 and 10 pence. So that's how much he sold each donut for. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 13. So question number 13 says, Miss Byrne buys 300 glue sticks. So she buys 300 glue sticks, and the glue sticks are sold in boxes of 20. So she's buying these boxes of 20 glue sticks, and each box costs £18.65. And the question says, work out the total cost for the glue sticks. Okay, now she's buying these boxes of glue sticks, and each box contains 20 glue sticks, and she buys 300 altogether. So if we take 300 and divide that by 20, that'll tell us how many boxes of glue sticks she's bought. So 300 divided by 20 would be equal to 15. So that means that she buys 15 boxes of glue sticks. So she buys 15 boxes, and each box costs £18.65p. So if we just multiply this by 15, we can work out the total cost of the glue sticks. So £18.65p multiplied by 15, because she buys 15 boxes, that's equal to £279 and 75p. So the total cost of the glue sticks is £279 and 75p, and that's the total price of the glue sticks. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 14. So question number 14 says, Gemma wants to get a book printed, so she wants to print a book, and it costs 11p per page, and it costs £3.85 for the cover. And Gemma pays £12.43p to get her book printed, and the question is, how many pages are there in Gemma's book? So in this question, that we know that the total price of the book is £12.43. Now, if we take away the price of the cover, well, if we take the £12.43 and we take away the price of the cover, which is £3.85, what's left to be the price for the pages? So if we do £12.43 take away £3.85, that's equal to £8.58. So that's the price for the pages. Now each page costs 11 pence. So if we take the £8.58 or 858p and we divide that by 11 because each page costs 11p, that tells how many pages there'll be in Gemma's book. So 858, or you could do 8.58 and divide by 0.11 if you wanted to. I've just changed it into pence here. And divide by 11 is equal to 78. So there's 78 pages in her book. So just to recap, the total price of the book was £12.43. We took away the price of the cover, that left us with £8.58, and then we just divided that by 11p, and that's equal to 78. So there's 78 pages in Gemma's book. Okay, next, question 15. So question number 15 says, Tyler buys 36 burger buns, 36 burgers, and 4 bottles of tomato sauce. So he must be having a barbecue or something. And we've got, these are the prices. So these are the prices in the shop. Burger buns, you can buy 4 of them for £1.89. The burgers, you can buy 6 of them for £3.95. And the tomato sauce costs £2.49 each. So that's £2.49 for a bottle of tomato sauce. And the question says, work out how much money Tyler spent. So in terms of this question, well, we know that for the burger buns, he buys 36 of them, and he can buy 4 of them for £1.89. So there's obviously 4 burger buns in a packet. So if we divide 36 by 4, that'll tell us how many packets of burger buns he's had to buy. So let's write that down, burger buns. Altogether, he buys 36 of them, and there's 4 in a packet. So if we do 36 divided by 4, and that's equal to 9. So that means that he buys 9 packets of burger buns. And each packet of burger buns, each packet of 4 burger buns costs £1.89. So if we take the £1.89 and we multiply that by 9, because he buys 9 packets of them, and that's equal to £17 and a penny. So he bought 36 burger buns, there's 4 in a packet, so 36 divided by 4 is equal to 9. So he buys 9 packets, and 9 times £1.89 is equal to £17 and a penny. Now in terms of the burgers, he buys 36 of those as well. Now they're packets of 6. So if we take the 36 burgers and divide that by 6, that's equal to 6. So that means that he buys 6 packets of burgers. And each packet of burgers costs £3.95. So if we take the £3.95 and we multiply that by 6, that'll be the total price of the burgers. £3.95 multiplied by 6 is equal to £23.70. So we've worked out the cost of the burger buns and the cost of the burgers. Now let's consider the tomato sauce. It costs £2.49 a bottle, and he buys 4 bottles. So for the tomato sauce, each bottle costs £2.49, and he buys 4 of them, and so we're just going to multiply that by 4, and that's equal to £9.96. So that's fantastic. We've now got the cost of the burger buns, the cost of the burgers, and the cost of the tomato sauce. So we can now just add those and find the total cost and work out how much money Tyler spent altogether. So let's do that. And that's equal to £50.67. And that's it. So that's how much money Tyler spent. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 16. So question number 16 is a lot of information here, and this is actually just some of the question. I'll have to scroll down. We've got Mr. and Mrs. Newman and their 2 children book a holiday. So there's 2 adults and 2 children. And the table shows information about prices of flights. So this is the price of the flight. So if they go in June, the price per person for the flights is £195. If they go in July, the price per person for the flights is £247. And if they go in August, the price per person for the flights is £239. And then we've got this table, and this table shows the price of the room per night for the whole family. So we've got obviously there's 3 different types of room here. We've got a superior, a family, and a deluxe. And then we've got the price per night in June, the price per night in July, and the price per night in August. And then we're told the family booked a 14-night holiday, so a 14-night holiday in August, staying in a deluxe room. And then we've been asked to work out the total price of the flights and the hotel. Okay, so let's start off with the flights to begin with. So let's go up to the flights. Now we're told the holidays in August, so we want to have a look at the price per person for the flights in August. So that's £239. So in terms of the flights, it was £239 per person, so £239. So it's £239 per person, and there's 4 people, so we're going to do 239 multiplied by 4 and see what we get. And that's equal to £956. So the price of the flights in August for the family would be £956. In terms of the hotel, we're told they stayed in a deluxe room, so it's this row here, and they're staying in August, so it's going to be £140 per night for the family, and they're staying for 14 nights. So £140 multiplied by 14, because they're staying for 14 nights, is equal to £1,960. So we've now got the price for the flight and the price for the hotel. We can just add them together, 956 plus 1,960, and that's equal to £2,916. And that's it. That's the total price for the flights and the hotel. And that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So question number 17, we're told that a can of dog food, or a 375 gram can of dog food, costs £1.20, and a 100 gram can of cat food costs 95p. And Hassan buys the same number of grams of dog food and cat food. And I'm guessing he's buying whole cans here, he's not opening a can and so on. And the question says, work out the least possible amount of money that he could have spent. Okay, now in terms of the cat food, he could buy 100 grams, 200 grams, 300 grams and so on. That's quite nice. We know that the number of grams of cat food that he buys must be a multiple of 100. Let's focus on the dog food. And this is a calculator question, so that's quite nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list the multiples of 375. So I'm going to take one can, which is 375 grams. I'm going to add another 375, and that's equal to 750 grams. So if he bought 2 cans of dog food, that'd be 750 grams. But because he buys the same amount of cat food, and the cat food comes in tins that are 100 grams each, so he can't actually buy 750 grams of cat food. So let's carry on. Next, if he buys 3 cans of dog food, that'll be 1,125 grams. But again, he can't buy that using the cat food. He can buy 1,100 grams or 1,200 grams, but he can't buy 1,125 grams. If he buys another can of dog food, that's 1,500 grams. That's fantastic, 1.5 kilograms or 1,500 grams. So if he buys 4 cans of dog food, he would get 1,500 grams. Now we can buy that with cat food as well. If he buys 15 cans of cat food, that'll also be 1,500 grams, and that's the same amount of dog food and cat food. So that's how much dog food and cat food he buys. He buys 1,500 grams of dog food and 1,500 grams of cat food. And the question says work out the least possible amount of money that he could have spent. So let's focus on the dog food to begin with. Each tin costs £1.20, and he buys 4 tins. So 4 multiplied by £1.20 is equal to £4.80. So he spent £4.80 on the dog food. In terms of the cat food, he buys 15 cans of cat food, because each can is 100 grams, and he buys 15 cans of them to get 1,500 grams. So if we take the price of the cat food, which is 95p, so 95p, and we multiply that by 15, because he buys 15 cans of cat food, and that's equal to £14.25. So we've now got the price of the dog food and the price of the cat food. Now let's add them together and find the total price. And that's equal to £19.05. So work out the least possible amount of money that he could have spent. The answer is £19.05, and that's it. And that's it. So in this video, we've gone through the video solutions to the practice questions in corporate maths based on money and paying for things or buying things. If you need any extra help on this topic, you can watch the video tutorial, which is 400C on corporate maths. But that's it. But I really hope you found this video useful. If you have found it useful, please like it and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.